Wow, what an audience. Good afternoon, everyone. It's very excited to be here today. See very many familiar faces and many new faces. But the reason why I'm particularly excited to be here is because I will be presenting today something that has applicability to the travel industry. Those of you that know me, you know, like Ralph, I've been in this business, in the travel technology space for 25 years, more years than I care to remember. But this new project, Travel Ledger, is very much coming from my research into the blockchain technology, into smart contract technology, back already in 2016, 2017, when eventually the penny dropped that, oh, now I get what this can do and how this is changing the payment industry, the supply chain industry, and all of these things, that the idea started to come into my head about Travel Ledger. So what is Travel Ledger? It's a settlement platform for the global travel industry. What does it mean? I'm sure most of you have an IATA license, right? You issue tickets, you do business with 300, 350 airlines around the world, you get one bill. It's one payment and one set of data to reconcile. It's been like that for 40 odd years. And I was shocked over the years of working in the industry that the same didn't exist for the rest of the industry. And as I started looking into it, I started to understand why it didn't exist, why it was so complicated, banking, payments, all these kind of things. But really, this is where some of the changes that are driven by the blockchain technology, by the smart contract, have really revolutionized the payment industry over the last few years. So that was when I realized that this was possible, and that's one of the reasons why we're joining the Camino Network, because we see this expanding and really we want to leverage what we do. So Travel Ledger is already live today, and basically what we do is it's a standard to exchange financial and payment data via a single platform. Obviously, we don't do it for the airline industry. As I said, the airline industry already does it. They've been doing it for a long time, but we're doing it for the rest of the industry. All of those travel companies that operate on a B2B basis that still are sending out invoices via email, getting emails back saying I disagree to that booking and I'm only paying you 955 bookings out of the 970 on the statements and all of that. There's such manuality that we're basically getting rid of all of that by using a standard format, and to then automate the collection and the disbursement of the money. Where again, you operate in a single market, maybe it's a little bit easier, but once you are a global travel company that you have customers everywhere, obviously it becomes a little bit more complicated. So at the end of the day, by standardizing all of the process, and you have the demonstration in what you do already with BSP. Imagine if all of a sudden the airline started sending you, each one sending their bills. Is the cost saving in manpower are incredible. The fees are also a lot lower when you compare to payment by cards and even banks, especially the rails that they were using. And then we go into one of the use cases that we're looking at. And overall, you have an improvement of risk management and increase visibility, obviously, because then you have a single place where you can see everything that is happening with your buyers and sellers. And on Travel Ledger, you don't have to be one or the other. You can be a buyer on one side and you can be a seller on the other side. And there are already several companies that are doing that. So we're a new company, we're a new business. We've only been around for less than 10 months. We run a pilot last summer, and just before Christmas, in the UK, preparing for the season, we onboarded 400 companies. what helped considerably is that we did a partnership with ABTA, the Association of British Travel Agencies. So through the partnership with them, so that's why we were able to onboard so quickly those companies. And today we service around 1,700 UK locations with pretty much everyone on the retail side and around 40 suppliers. So again, all of the retailers that are on, they get one bill for all the 40 suppliers. They reconcile the data in one place. The data is fed automatically into their back office system. They can reconcile it and re-upload it back, and the supplier has the same benefit. They get back not just the money, but they get all the information down to the booking level of exactly what was paid, what wasn't paid, what was slightly different. We're settling at the moment 60 million a month. Our trajectory is that we will reach 150 million pounds by the end of the year, and we'll double and triple next year. And most importantly for us is we're going to be available in Europe and globally from October. So we're now running some of the pilots, and we'll start working with some of those companies across Europe, inviting new participants. Why are we joining Camino? Well, the industry needs a neutral and shared platform to more efficiently interact. This is one of the things that you will hear many times today. Blockchain and smart contract are ideal for cost-effective and secure process automation. And also there are many benefits that I think will come probably more over time, where a semi-permissioned blockchain like Camino allows the transparency of funds. One of the things that some of you might not like about BSP, that is a bit of a black box. They tell you this, if you disagree, you have to go back. The airlines are in a bit of a dominant position, and not everybody likes that. Here we're embracing the same philosophy as the Camino team, that we want it to be much more egalitarian type of network and relationship. So what are we exactly going to be doing on Camino? We're actually split it into two phases for us. One in the short term before the end of the year, and one a little bit further out. As I said, we're very busy at the moment rolling out across Europe. So, but in the very first instance, we're actually going to use the interaction with the Camino network primarily for settlement. So statements, invoices that are presented on the travel ledger network can be settled via a Camino wallet, for example, and I'll show you a little bit later how that will look like. Or the opposite. Some of you might want to do some transactions on the Camino network. Those transactions will require real-time instant payment. You need some funds in order to be able to do that. Oh, you have a Travel Ledger wallet. You have a Travel Ledger Pay wallet. Great. You can use some of those funds onto that in your Camino wallet to pay and fulfill the real-time transaction. Again, we'll see that in a minute. But as I said, there are many other things that we want to do. We want to use smart contract a lot more for what we call conditional payments, conditional automated payments, escrow, things like that, trusts, provide much more visibility. And also, as we're building our kind of network that we're sharing with the Camino network as well, is the ability even for us to offer additional financial services. We're soon going to announce that we will start offering insurance services, supply chain insurance, supply chain finance, all because we obviously have now that visibility of data. So going back to the examples, so what would it look like, for example, if you're a buyer and your supplier has filed a statement for £150,000, for example, on the travel ledger, and the supplier says, oh, by the way, I have a Camino wallet as well, and rather than pay me via the bank, pay me via Camino tokens or Camino stablecoins or whatever. Well, it's relatively easy from Travel Ledger. Those of you that, for example, have used MetaMask, if you've done any type of transaction, you trigger the wallet, the transaction is confirmed, and the funds now can be transferred to the wallet of the seller. So it's exactly what happens through a bank when we send an instruction to the bank to say, hey, move this money from here to there. But rather than going through a bank or, God forbid, a credit card company, do we have any credit card company here? The cost is infinitesimal compared to that. So that's one example. But the opposite example, as I said, can also be true, where you see a product on the Camino Network, you want to be able to buy something on the Camino Network, and you have some money on your Travel Ledger wallet. You say, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer £100 into my Camino wallet so that when I go and make that transaction, I can pay on real time. And the seller gets the funds that way. And then if they have themselves a Travel Ledger Pay wallet, they can transfer the money back and then put it into their bank. So there is this kind of interoperability that we want to put in place. We support a number of different payment rails, but obviously these are very cost-efficient, cost-effective, and obviously it will be very important for the whole economy on the Camino Network to have a number of different ways of settling. And you will hear later as well, the next presenter talking about stable coins and other things. So as I said, we're trying to facilitate some of these things, and we look very much to other partners as well to bring much more liquidity to the network, because that was one of the things that we need to make sure is there. So in conclusion, Travel Ledger in itself, we believe, already brings a huge cost reduction. We're bringing financial standards to the B2B market. We're trying to make everybody's life easier, reduce the cost of manpower. But where we see a real benefit is in being able to share the technology platform with Camino, so that the whole supply chain can have more functionality, more benefits, and more visibility. Probably the killer application on Camino hasn't even been thought about. Some of you maybe will come up, and you'll be able to use different services that other companies will make available on the network. This is the beauty of having an open platform that allows you to do what you need to do what's best for your business, and be able to interact with everybody else. So, same, I'm going to be here today and tomorrow. If you want to have a chat, come and get me. And thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.